And now we have our other co-founder of Silray, whose bright and cheerful personality as well as her passion for fun games and activities make her a very popular facilitator at Silray. She believes that drama and life skills are essential in the holistic learning of children and wears multiple hats at Silray. She takes pride as a contributor to the building blocks of Silray, an open learning space that has impacted more than 13,000 children so far. Presenting Gauri Hari, an educationist who appreciates the uniqueness of each child, for delivering the opening remarks for this session.
Thank you, Yug. Namaste. Welcome to Silray's Splendor 2021, the virtual inclusive international conference on the future of education. I am Gauri, co-founder of Silray Learning Spaces. We say in India, Vasudhaiva Kutumpakam, Yadum Ure Yavarum Kelir, which simply means the whole world is a family. Now that my family is here, I want to share my story, the journey as an educator. 11 years ago, when I dropped my elder son abroad for studies, I realized something. I was dropping an 18-year-old with no exposure to traveling abroad, let alone living there. And the university said, it's up to the students to make use of the opportunities there. At that time, as a parent, I had three questions in my mind. Did I give tools to my child to survive in an unknown world? Did I continuously bombard him with information without reflection on his takeaways? How relevant were academics to his real world? My son did well, but did I? This reflection led me to realize that we need to expose our children to life skills as early as possible. And this inspired me to become an educator, to impact young children. So I did the Train the Trainer course, became passionate trainer and an enthusiastic facilitator. When I started working with children, I met Anandi, a young software engineer who was passionate about learning and had a great vision for the future of education. We worked together to find our own methodology. We started Silray Learning Spaces. Silray is learning in Lojban language, said Anandi. We thought stories are engaging for children. So I enrolled myself in a professional storytelling academy. From our personal experiences, we found all of academics was not relevant to the real world, and we needed different skills to survive. Hence, we wanted to make what is learned relevant and learning available to all. So our motto became making learning engaging, relevant, and available. Our first session was in a fun activity space. We had gone all prepared to have fun with kids, but guess how many turned up? None. Then we went around Bangalore city, met amazing open-minded people who gave us platform to explore at our own pace to try out our methodology. We tried various things, did reflections, and tweaked our sessions at a fast pace. Once on a Republic Day, we had to introduce the topic of rights and duties to young children. We decided to play a game called Traffic. There were 20 kids. We asked them to go around the room, simulating a road scene. There was utter chaos. Then we gave them the traffic rules, order restored. So the children experienced that rules are not always meant to be restrictive, but for safety too. And I told them the story of a fish and a bird who wanted to explore freedom by exchanging places. Then they realized not all thoughts on freedom are danger-free. A quick way to help them make informed decisions. And we learned that teaching civics through games and stories was more effective than reading textbooks on them. Then we explored multidisciplinary sessions like learning geography through cooking, physics through toy making. It was well received. Then my best friend Aparna joined us and more people too. Now we had enough people to spread our message across the city. Now we wanted to include more children in the journey as our approach was working. So we started the Giving Tree, a non-profit language initiative for government school children. We learned that structured education delivers information as if learners are equal, but treats them differently based on their learning styles and interests. We were beginning to make a difference by giving learners a choice, by making them feel included. Do you have a good word to make others feel happy? Okay. Then we explored continuous engagement with the same children, theater clubs, life clubs, speaker club. Wanted to share a few experiences here. When Danny joined our theater sessions, his father said, "Ma'am, my son doesn't open up, and that's why I put him in theater." Danny was, of course, shy, but slowly he became comfortable at Silray because we don't give negative feedback or force children. Danny worked hard to try all the activities and talk to his peers, but refused to perform in the finale out of fear. So after watching a few rehearsals, he said, "Okay, but I'll tell only short dialogues." So I said, "Okay." The finale came and everybody was anxious, especially Danny's father. The show started. Danny said a few, forgot a few. I was happy. He was very happy, but his father was disappointed. So I told the father, "Sir, Danny was hesitant to come on stage first, but he said a few dialogues in the end. That's a great progress. If you want him to be bold, then treat him like he's capable of being one. That helps." We at Silray learn to appreciate every little step the child takes, and some children take it a little further. Like Praveen in the first theater session told me, "I'm more of a science person, just trying to explore theater and definitely not comfortable dancing." Our drama sessions have drama games that are doable and fun. He chose to try some, leave some, and soon found himself exploring and realizing he was more than he thought he was. And he went on to be recognized as the best actor in the theater festival. And he danced and loved the role. And the next day, the mother came and said, "Praveen doesn't hesitate to explore in other subjects too." Slowly, we had impacted from 0 to 13 plus thousand children. It has been a fulfilling decade-long journey. Then we moved on to adults. Then came pandemic. Luckily, we were quick to adapt. We went virtual, connected globally, went beyond classrooms with augmented tools, had uninterrupted conversations as learning became possible to everyone, everywhere, at all times. Going virtual, I remember something interesting when we first shifted online. During one of those finales, we had for children, one actor's whisper from Bengaluru was heard by children from Bahrain, Singapore, Chennai, Ghaziabad. That was amazing. It was an Akbar Birbal story. And Birbal went, "Psst, Jahabana, I want to tell you something in private." And Akbar bent down from Bahrain, some 3,000 kilometers from Birbal, and whispered, "Yes, go ahead, Birbal." And that whisper was heard all over. And we also changed the backgrounds according to wherever Akbar and Birbal went. I know we can't beat the in-person stage feel, but we were creative and used technology to our advantage. Now, as children joined from different countries, they learned different accents, different culture, felt being part of a global village. Now we got more confident as we were still decently on track with our motto of making learning engaging, relevant, and available. Then, to reach more people to discuss pandemic triggered issues, we started the Education is Changing webinar series. The response was good, and that led to Silray's Splendor 2021, the virtual inclusive international conference on the future of education. So, this platform is to discuss how we can redesign the future of education with all the learnings we've had and make it more meaningful and enjoyable for the learner because the education landscape is changing. Learners are no longer going to learn from just teachers, but from the whole world. So, one way to go about the future of education is to do drama, assign a role to every one of us. The learner can take the driver's role, decide his destination, navigate his way through with information on the net, Google Map, get excited about new things that come up. For that, educators need to take up the support role, transform that knowledge to real world applications, and be the educator we always wanted to have. Cheer the driver, acknowledge that each driver is different. He could, for example, be like the hare in the famous hare and the tortoise story, have the skill but take breaks at the wrong time. Or he could be the tortoise having better attitude than skill. Educator has to help the driver with reflections and not overload with information. Now, among the educators, we need movers and shakers to take up the leadership role and take the first few steps. For that, we have many amazing speakers in Splendor. They jumped on board with ease, no hesitation, showing the dedication to transform the education landscape. And we need change makers. For that, we have our sponsors, Efficacy Life Science Analytics, the Bluebell School, MVJ institutions. Of course, we all have to play more than double roles to continue conversations, collaborations, and to create special interest groups that's beyond Splendor. Now, what invention do you want to see in future? This interest and vigor we have shown now in this conference, if carried out in the education field as well, would be a great start. Of course, challenges are going to be there. Um, uh, Challenges are going to be there, but let's enjoy the process. As the Bhagavad Gita says, Karmanye vadikaraste ma paleshu kadachana ma karma pale heturpur mate sangochava karmani. Do your best, don't get attached to the outcome. Finally, let's have a toast for every child in this world. And our journey continues with you. Thank you.